are some other great videos from Cabin Fever Entertainment.
It's the most popular movie series of all time.
The British showing Paris. I mean the British showing the whole world. Happy birthday, Mr. Hood.
Cabin Fever Entertainment is proud to present The Little Rascals on home video.
To you. Give me the high sign.
These are the original Little Rascals. Now they're better than ever. For years, the Little Rascals have been censored. Some of their movies haven't been seen for decades, and previous video collections contained low-contrast, scratched prints, ruined from years of neglect. Not Cabin Fever. These are all the original classics, uncut, remastered from the Library of Congress's original 35mm prints, and restored to mint condition through a process costing nearly $500,000.
All right, where are you guys? There's nobody down here except us dummies.
It's all your favorite moments.
Say, let's start a club right now. The He-Man Woman. Don't call me Norman. Call me Chubsy Ubsy. Hi, Granny.
And all your favorite rascals, even ones you haven't seen for years. Each volume is introduced by Entertainment Tonight's Leonard Maltin, co-author of the book The Little Rascals, The Life and Times of Our Gang.
My Juliet. My Romeo.
The original Little Rascals, only from Cabin Fever Entertainment.
Most of the Little Rascals shorts, originally known as Our Gang, are rooted in real life, and that's a big part of their appeal. But some of my favorite films in the series are out-and-out fantasies, and several of them are on this video collection. The one exception is Boxing Gloves, an interesting short that was the Rascals' second talking picture in 1929. You'll notice that much of the action was shot without sound, and the studio hadn't yet figured out how to add sound effects and music to disguise that fact. But it's still fun to see the series' original fat boy, Joe Cobb, slugging it out with his replacement, lovable Chubby Chaney. Then we move on to a real series standout, Mama's Little Pirate, a one-of-a-kind excursion where the kids venture into a cave to find a king's ransom hidden there by a fearsome 7-foot-6-inch giant. It's pure fantasy, of course, and it has a dreamlike quality to it that makes it truly memorable. But what's most exceptional about it is that it's really happening right before your eyes, with those incredible props and sets the Hal Roach studio came up with to match their scriptwriter's imagination. The cave, in fact, had been built as a set for Laurel and Hardy's Babes in Toyland, or March of the Wooden Soldiers. Incidentally, if you saw the 1985 feature film The Goonies, you may think, as I do, that this short was the inspiration for that very similar story. Music played a big part in the Rascals films of the 1930s, but none of their musical shorts approached the size, scope, or fantasy elements of Our Gang Follies in 1938. In fact, for a villain, the studio rehired actor Henry Brandon, who'd played the larger-than-life bad guy Barnaby in Laurel and Hardy's Babes in Toyland 4 years earlier. Beyond that inspired casting, they built a swanky nightclub set that would have looked right at home in a big-time MGM musical. This, of course, is the elegant Club Spanky, where Alfalfa sees in his dream how his pals Spanky, Darla, and Buckwheat have fared while he's been reduced to singing for pennies in the street. What a film. Finally, there's the snappy one-reeler Hide and Shriek. in which Alfalfa's attempts to play detective sent him, Porky, and Buckwheat into a rather elaborate haunted house. Talk about great props and sets. But as we remind ourselves that it's all make-believe, I would share with you the fact that in real life, the experience of making this film spooked young Porky Lee, who never forgot it. Chances are, neither will you. To find out more about the amazing history of the Little Rascals and the remarkable kids who starred in this series, turn to The Little Rascals, The Life and Times of Our Gang by Leonard Maltin and Richard W. Band. Its pages are crammed with facts, photos, and behind-the-scenes information on all 221 Our Gang comedies, with biographies of every Little Rascal and the story of what happened to them in later life. Ask for The Little Rascals, The Life and Times of Our Gang at your local bookstore, or have them order it for you. It's published by Crown.